The hidden crisis. How industrial agriculture has broken Earth's water cycle. A $200 billion annual catastrophe with a $20 billion solution. The devastating floods, prolonged droughts, and extreme weather events plaguing our planet aren't random acts of nature, they're the direct result of how we've treated our soil. The solution lies literally beneath our feet. Executive Summary. The crisis, industrial agriculture has fundamentally disrupted Earth's natural water cycle, creating a cascade of environmental disasters from flash floods to droughts, extreme weather events, and rapidly declining groundwater levels. The evidence: groundwater levels have dropped from 20 to 30 feet below surface to over 300 feet deep. 280 feet of water that once provided natural climate stability now floats freely in our atmosphere, driving weather chaos. The solution: immediate implementation of regenerative soil practices, break existing hardpan with subsoilers, end destructive plowing, and maintain continuous soil cover. The broken water cycle, understanding the mechanism. The numbers that tell the devastating story. Imagine if someone told you that trillions of tons of water that once provided climate stability are now floating chaotically in our atmosphere, driving the weather chaos we see around us. You might think this sounds like science fiction. But the evidence is buried beneath our feet, telling an undeniable story of unprecedented environmental destruction. For billions of years, groundwater lived just 20 to 30 feet below the soil surface, maintaining Earth's delicate water balance. Today, that same water table has plummeted to over 300 feet deep, and continues falling. This represents 280 feet of water storage lost to the atmosphere, fundamentally disrupting the water cycle that sustained life on Earth for millennia. The perfect system we destroyed. Before industrial agriculture, Earth operated as a perfectly balanced water machine. Soil wasn't just dirt, it was a living, breathing sponge, rich with organic matter and teeming with biological activity. When rain fell, this soil embraced every drop, storing it in vast underground reservoirs. Plants and trees created protective canopies that kept temperatures cool and stable, while water moved gently through layers of earth, feeding rivers and springs with crystal clear flow. The atmosphere held precisely the right amount of moisture for predictable seasons. Farmers could count on nature's rhythm because this system had been perfected over millions of years. This wasn't environmental luck, this was engineering by evolution. How we broke the water cycle. Industrial agriculture shattered this ancient system through three devastating practices that continue today. 1. Creating massive heat islands. When we stripped away nature's protective plant cover, we exposed naked soil to blazing solar radiation. Agricultural soil now regularly reaches temperatures of 70 degrees Celsius, 158 degrees Fahrenheit, and beyond, hot enough to burn human skin. When air touches this superheated earth, it doesn't just warm up, it explodes upward like a rocket, carrying precious water vapor far from where it's needed. What should be gentle, local precipitation becomes violent storms hundreds of miles away. We've essentially turned millions of acres of farmland into massive heat islands that violently displace atmospheric moisture. 2. Creating impermeable hardpan layers. As if burning away soil's protective cover wasn't destructive enough, we then crushed what remained. Massive tractors weighing tens of thousands of pounds compress earth into concrete hard layers called hardpan. When rain falls on these compacted surfaces, it cannot penetrate. Instead, water races across the land like it's hitting pavement, gathering speed and destructive power as it rushes toward low-lying areas. What should gently nourish crops becomes a destructive force, washing away the very topsoil our agricultural future depends on. 3. Forcing massive water displacement. The combination of extreme soil heating and hardpan formation has displaced an almost incomprehensible volume of water from soil storage into atmospheric chaos. That 280-foot drop in groundwater levels represents trillions of tons of water that once provided natural climate stability now floating unpredictably in our skies. When this displaced water finally condenses and falls, It doesn't arrive as the gentle, predictable precipitation that sustained agriculture for thousands of years. Instead, it crashes down in devastating torrents that overwhelm natural drainage systems, destroy infrastructure, and flood communities, while the areas that lost this water suffer under intensifying droughts. The evidence of catastrophic disruption. The proof of this water cycle disruption surrounds us. Groundwater crisis. Wells that previous generations dug at 30 feet now require drilling to 300 feet or more, and many still come up dry. This isn't isolated to particular regions, it's happening everywhere industrial agriculture has been practiced. Weather chaos, flash floods that turn streets into rivers within minutes. Droughts that persist for years in historically well-watered regions. Heat waves that shatter century-old temperature records, followed by unseasonable cold snaps that devastate crops. Agricultural instability, farmers face unprecedented volatility, with crop yield swinging wildly between flood damage and drought stress. Traditional growing seasons have become unreliable, making long-term agricultural planning nearly impossible. The accelerating crisis. Every year we continue current agricultural practices, the crisis compounds exponentially. Hardpan layers grow thicker and more impermeable. The soil biology that once created natural water storage systems dies off completely. Remaining topsoil gets washed or blown away at alarming rates. We're not just damaging agricultural land, we're creating irreversible environmental tipping points. There will come a moment when no amount of money or technology can restore what we've destroyed. The question isn't whether we can afford to act, it's whether we can afford to wait another day. The economic emergency. This environmental crisis is simultaneously bankrupting us. Current agricultural practices create over $200 billion in annual costs. $50+ billion in flood damage to infrastructure and crops. $30+ billion in drought-related agricultural losses. $20+ billion for increasingly deep wells and expanded water treatment. $100+ billion in emergency response and disaster recovery. We're literally spending ourselves into poverty trying to manage the chaos created by destroying soil's natural water storage capacity. The solution, the PQNK 4-step natural ecosystem restoration. The remarkable truth is that we know exactly how to restore Earth's water cycle. The solution follows the proven PQNK, pronounced picnic, methodology, Paedar Qudratti Nizam Kashatqari, which means the regenerative and sustainable Pristine Organic Farming System. This comprehensive approach requires 4 essential, coordinated actions. 1. Break the hardpan immediately. Subsoilers, specialized equipment with steel shanks that cut 18 to 24 inches deep, can shatter the impermeable layers choking our soil. As these tools slice through compacted earth, they restore pathways for water to flow back where nature intended. This isn't just farming equipment, it's climate repair technology that recreates the soil's natural porosity for water infiltration. 2. Create permanent raised beds. After breaking the hardpan, the next critical step is constructing permanent raised beds that prevent soil inundation and waterlogging. These raised beds serve multiple functions. They ensure proper drainage during heavy rains while maintaining soil structure, prevent compaction from future equipment traffic, and create optimal growing conditions by managing both water infiltration and retention. 3. Plant cover crops for living mulch. After constructing the permanent raised beds, the first crop planted is a fast-growing cover crop with large root systems, such as jantar. This initial cover crop is allowed to grow to its full height of approximately 6 feet, developing an extensive root network that naturally restores soil pores essential for water seepage, aeration, and microbial activity. When the jantar crop reaches maturity, it is mulched directly on the raised beds using a specialized mulcher designed for crop residue management. This critical technique preserves the entire root system intact within the soil, maintaining the natural channels and biological networks the roots created. The mulcher cuts and distributes the above-ground portion of the plant evenly across the bed surface, creating a protective mulch layer that covers the soil, keeping temperatures within moderate limits and dramatically reducing water evaporation. The intact root system continues to decompose slowly underground, feeding soil biology and maintaining the pore structure necessary for water infiltration and storage. Meanwhile, the surface mulch created by the mulcher provides nature's protective armor, shielding the soil from temperature extremes while maintaining optimal moisture levels. 4. Continuous no-till crop production. After the first cover crop is mulched, cash crops are planted one after another directly into the same permanent raised beds without ever disturbing the soil structure. This is accomplished using specialized equipment designed specifically for the PQNK system. Slit Insertion Precision Planter, SIPP, creates minimal soil disturbance through precise slitting action. Vertical Insertion Precision Planter, VIPP, inserts seeds vertically with zero tillage disruption. Both planters work effectively through the mulched surface, allowing farmers to plant successive crops while preserving the soil's natural architecture, the intricate networks of channels, fungal threads, and biological pathways created by the initial cover crop roots and maintained by the ongoing soil biology. Each subsequent crop is planted into this living, breathing soil ecosystem, building upon the foundation created by the mulched cover crop system while preserving the water infiltration pathways and continuously enhancing organic matter and soil biology with every growing season. When implemented together, this PQNK, picnic, system transforms agricultural land from a water-rejecting, heat-generating surface into a water-welcoming, climate-stabilizing ecosystem that functions like the natural systems that sustained Earth's water cycle for billions of years. The economic opportunity. Here's the stunning economic reality, completely fixing this crisis through the PQNK, picnic, Pristine Organic Farming System would cost approximately $15 billion over 2 years, thanks to the remarkably affordable and efficient PQNK machinery system. PQNK machine categories. One-time use machines, subsoiler and raised bed maker, serve thousands of acres. Regular use machines, mulcher for crop residue management and either SIP or VIP planter, designed for 200-acre operations. Complete PQNK machine set, approximately $10,000 per 200-acre unit. Investment breakdown. $3 billion for comprehensive hardpan breaking operations. $4 billion for permanent raised bed construction nationwide. $2 billion for initial janter cover crop establishment. $5 billion for PQNK machine sets, mulcher plus SIP/VIP, distribution to farmers. $1 billion for monitoring and enforcement systems. This represents a remarkable 13-to-1 return on investment, spending just $15 billion once to save $200 billion annually forever. The affordability of the PQNK machinery makes this solution accessible to farmers worldwide while providing the greatest economic bargain in agricultural history. The 24-month Emergency Response Plan. We cannot afford to study this problem for another decade. We need emergency action with a clear timeline. Months 1 to 6, declare soil hardpan a national crisis. Begin comprehensive mapping of compacted agricultural land. Deploy subsoiling equipment to the most critical watersheds. Begin permanent raised bed construction in priority watersheds. Implement immediate moratorium on unnecessary plowing. Months 7 to 12, distribute subsoiling technology and raised bed construction equipment to agricultural regions nationwide. Begin large-scale janter cover crop planting on completed raised bed systems. Provide financial support and PQNK machine sets, $10,000 per 200-acre unit, to farmers transitioning to the system. Install soil infiltration monitoring networks. Months 13 to 18, complete hardpan breaking and raised bed construction operations on all compacted agricultural land. Use specialized mulchers to process mature janter crops, at 6-foot height, without uprooting to create protective soil cover. Begin cash crop planting using SIP or VIP precision planters. Enforce prohibition on destructive tillage practices. Months 19 to 24, assess performance improvements in water infiltration, retention, and crop production on permanent raised bed systems with mulched cover crop foundation. Optimize PQNK techniques and machine operations based on established permanent policies for maintaining the 4-step regenerative system. The global leadership opportunity. Successfully implementing soil health restoration would position any nation as a global environmental leader. Other countries would witness that it's possible to restore water cycles, stabilize climate patterns, and create agricultural abundance instead of scarcity. When we prove that soil health equals climate health, we become the example that can help save not just our own agricultural systems, but the planet's food security. This represents our generation's opportunity to choose between being remembered as those who broke Earth's water cycle, or those who healed it. The transformation vision. Imagine standing on agricultural land 3 years after implementing the complete picnic, Pristine Organic Farming System. The hardpan is broken, and soil breathes again through permanent raised beds that manage water perfectly. When rain falls, you can hear it being welcomed by earth instead of rejected, flowing through the pore systems created by the initial janter cover crop roots, with excess water draining naturally while optimal moisture is retained. Ground stays cool under the protective mulch layer from the 6-foot-tall janter crop that was processed by the specialized mulcher, never uprooted, leaving its extensive root system to maintain soil pores and feed soil biology. The mulched surface provides perfect growing conditions while the underground root channels continue functioning as nature's irrigation system. Springs that went dry decades ago begin flowing again as the raised bed system captures and stores water efficiently. The transformation vision. Farmers plant crop after crop on the same permanent beds using their affordable picnic machine sets, either SIP or VIP precision planters working seamlessly through the mulched surface, with confidence instead of fear, knowing their soil structure will never be destroyed again. Each cash crop grows in this living soil ecosystem where the decomposing janter roots continuously feed beneficial microorganisms while the surface mulch maintains perfect growing conditions. Weather patterns stabilize as local water cycling is restored through this engineered ecosystem that perfectly mimics nature's own design. The beauty of the system lies not just in its effectiveness, but in its accessibility, at just $10,000 per 200-acre operation that is just $50 or PACRs. $14,000 per acre, one-time cost which is recovered during the first crop harvest by reduction in cost of production. Every farmer can afford to be part of healing the planet's water cycle. This isn't fantasy, this is what happens when we implement the complete picnic methodology to fix the water cycle. This is what we can have if we choose to act. The choice before us. We stand at the most critical decision point in agricultural history. Down one path lies accelerating disaster, deeper droughts, more violent floods, higher costs, and ultimately the collapse of stable food production. Down the other path lies restoration, healed soils, stable weather, abundant water, and a legacy of environmental stewardship our children can be proud of. The science is clear. The solutions are proven. The economics are overwhelming. All that remains is the political will to act. What must happen now? Policymakers must take 5 immediate actions to implement the PQNK Pristine Organic Farming System. Declare emergency status for soil health and water cycle restoration using the 4-step PQNK methodology. Allocate emergency funding for the complete Paedar Qudratti Nizam Kashatqari system implementation, including affordable $10,000 machine sets for farmers. Implement immediate moratorium on destructive flat field tillage practices. Establish mandatory permanent raised bed, mulching, and precision planting requirements for all agricultural land. Create comprehensive monitoring systems to track soil health, water infiltration, and crop production improvements while supporting farmers with PQNK machinery access. Our legacy decision. History will remember this moment. Future generations will judge whether we chose to be the people who broke Earth's water cycle, or those who healed it. Whether we left our children a world of climate chaos and scarcity, or stable weather and abundance, the water cycle can be restored. The climate can be stabilized. The future can be saved. It all starts with the soil beneath our feet, and the choice we make today. The nation that destroys its soil destroys itself. The nation that restores its soil secures its future. Today, we must choose to secure the future. About the solution provider. Mr. Asif Sharif, a visionary agricultural pioneer, innovator, philanthropist, and global citizen, upholds his Sir Grow family's legacy in education, agriculture, and community service. His expertise includes marketing, agricultural project development, production process development and mechanization, forward engineering, alternate energies, value addition, and responsible citizenship. He developed the first crop production process based on natural ecosystem science, named PQNK, which means the Regenerative and Sustainable Pristine Organic Farming System. This analysis is based on decades of soil science research and agricultural observation. For more information on soil health restoration techniques, reach out through the contacts provided below. Call to action: contact your representatives today to demand emergency action on soil health restoration. Share this article to spread awareness of the hidden crisis threatening our planet's water cycle. The time for incremental change has passed, the time for emergency action is now.